Hey guys, this is Marjorie Phoenix here, and I wanted to send you a quick message and share an experience that I had last week. I went to visit an attorney to get some advice on another situation that I'm having with my ex, something else that he wants to take from me. And, I pretty much know the drill, but I just needed some clarity on some of the language. And so I went to this woman, and the agreement was I would sit down for a 30-minute free consultation, and I took a friend along with me for support. And as we sat in the office, she spent the first 15 minutes of the meeting typing on the computer, trying to pull up the records and everything from my divorce, and then also updating my information. Then the next 15 minutes was basically spent with her sharing a little bit about her background and where her descendants came from and where she grew up and how men will be men. Now, the next 15 minutes, as I tried to explain a little bit about her, because I could see time was running out here and I had several questions, she looked over my information and she thought, "Oh, this is easy peasy. This is nothing. Just let him go ahead, let him do what he wants to do in this matter, and then and let him pay for it. He can afford it." And I explained to her, "Well, it just doesn't work that way. Um, I need to be clear about certain things, and these are some of the decisions that I've made." Well, at first, she gave her personal opinion on something, which was very out of line. It was rude, and it was actually criticizing to me. And that was the first thing that really stumped me. The second thing was that I tried to explain to her my fears and anxiety with dealing with him and going to the courts and what happened the last time. And so I was sharing with her a little bit of why I was having some of these anxieties. And she just was not getting it. She was not understanding. And I said, I have some text messages and emails here where he has threatened me. They're very vague, but they are threats. And to look at them to see what I have. And she didn't want to look at them. She did, however, suggest that I get an injunction. Well, that was bad advice because why have me file for an injunction if I don't really have anything that's going to hold up for an injunction? And basically, she said to go ahead and do it and see what happens. At the very least, it'll scare him. So basically, waste my time, waste the court's time with something like that. As we went on in the conversation, we talked a little bit about the story, the history of my divorce. And then she looked at me and she says, you just need to get a full time job. You just need to get a full time job because, you can drive an hour. I know single moms that are driving hours to, back and forth. And, because with all of this you got going on here, with all of this, and she wouldn't say anything else after that. But she basically, so she looks at my friend and she says, "Am I right? Am I right? With all of this she got going on here." It was almost as if she was saying, with all of this you got going on here, you can strip. You can, go very uncomfortable. So at this point, I'm having enough. And then she goes online and she's looking up unnecessary information for me. And she looks over the paperwork for my ex's attorney and she says, "Oh, what this is a lovely letter. This is a beautiful letter. I know this letter. This had to have cost at least $800. This took several hours to put together. And, you know, who is this man? And why is he going through all of this trouble to take this from you? I don't understand." And so I explained to her a little bit about who he is, and her eyes got wide, and she said, "What? I would marry him. Are you kidding me? Why don't you just stay, let him play golf, do what he wants to do?" And, and I said, "Because he was an emotional abuser." And she looked at me and she's like, "Girl, men men will be men. My husband, he drops the MF bomb at least 7 times a day. The MF bomb. What does that have to do? But she totally, totally missed it. And I was so appalled by how unprofessional she was, but also the lack of empathy and understanding for a woman who had gone through a divorce that was very traumatic, that is dealing with a man who is very cunning, very narcissistic, and can threaten, knowing exactly where to draw the line and how much to say. And I'm dealing with an issue right now, and I need clarity on how I can handle this. And the only thing that I get is to be sent off to say, go and study the county clerk's office this weekend about injunctions so that I can know what I need to do from there. And then my friend that was there tried to explain to her, going to court is one of the last things we want to do. And, there's a fear of being re-victimized in the court again. And she said, hold that there. Don't even use that word with me. The courts don't victimize anyone, and don't give me that label, and don't play that victim card with her. And I didn't go in there crying victim, but I did go in there seeking help. And she didn't give it to me as one woman to another. And as an attorney, I left out of there feeling worse. And I thought to myself, had this been a woman that was more fragile, that, was really still broken up from a very traumatic and abusive divorce and had come and sit in front of this woman, how she would have left out of there feeling. This is why women who are emotionally abused don't say anything, because people look at them like they're crazy, like it's not a big deal. And that's not helpful. This is why it's so important that you know who you have as an attorney. Ladies and gentlemen, please do your homework and make sure that the attorney that you choose in your divorce, knowing that it's a high conflict divorce, that attorney has some experience with those types of divorces and they can serve you in the right way. Let this be a lesson to you. I did a Google Hangout, an author's reading and discussion on how to divorce a narcissist last month. And you can find that on YouTube, as well as on Google Plus. I encourage you to go and listen to that. It's got some great information um, for you in a situation like this. So I hope this is helpful. We shall see what happens next. Bye bye.